Who is the Lord? Is it the Lorie? Is it the Lorie? Or the Lord? Is it the Lorie? I don't know.
Candace Owens just exposed how Erika Kirk seized control of Turning Point USA, and the revelations are absolutely wild. It involves somebody who's been operating in the shadows this entire time, far from public attention, away from any real examination. These fresh intercepts are detonating everywhere. The connections are getting mapped out at lightning speed, and this whole situation is about to crack wide open. A link has been confirmed between Erika Kirk, Tyler Bauer, and Lorie Fran. And once you witness the complete picture, there's absolutely no turning back because it runs incredibly deep. While everyone's been fixated on Erika Kirk stepping in as the new CEO of TPUSA, nobody's been pressing the real questions. What's the actual agenda behind this move? And who's the mastermind orchestrating everything from the background?
We had met through a family friend. He had invited me to the office opening for Turning Point USA, which I know several of you guys are supporters of, so thank you for all of your support for Turning Point USA. And so I went to the office opening, and he was like, "You need to meet the CEO," and I was like, okay, great. I don't know. I was not familiar with that world.
According to reports from insiders, the answer is nearer than most people anticipated. Erika's own mother, Lorie Fran. And she didn't just appear on the scene recently. She's been positioned there from the absolute beginning. But this isn't some story about family favoritism. This is a straight-up power grab, and the evidence is dropping by the hour. According to these documents, Lorie Fran strategically cultivated a relationship with Tyler Bauer, a major TPUSA insider and Charlie's tight friend. It was Bauer who then created the opening and brought Erika directly to Charlie Kirk, operating like a setup.
Lorie knew exactly what I needed, which was Charlie. And the Tyler knew that I would have to be sat down and told that it was a business opportunity, and what the Lorie knew was probably everything about Charlie. Just like people say that Lorie tells her what to say and who to target in every room, I find that to be likely.
Hey, but here's where things get even more fascinating. Just like Erika, Lorie's background is packed with sketchy gaps, inconsistencies, and a shocking number of LLCs. Her actual name is questionable. She's also recognized as Loretta Wallstad-Winta. Her divorce paperwork reeks of shady undertones, and depending on which document you're checking, her birth date is also inconsistent. Oh, but things get even darker when you strip back the layers, because not only was Lorie connected to numerous failed business scandals and LLCs, she was also allegedly linked to trafficking rings. Mind you, this whole operation didn't even begin with her. It traces all the way back to her grandparents who got arrested for gambling, illegal slot machines, lottery schemes, high-speed chases with warrants flying everywhere.
Now, why is this relevant? Why is this story relevant? Because it just seems to be the case that fraud surrounds Lorie Fran, Wallstead, whatever her name is. Fraud just seems to surround her. From her parents to her grandparents to the person that's doing her documents. It's just always around her, to her very many businesses, and nobody knows what they do. She just can't seem to get away with it. And do you know what's crazy to me? That despite her obviously being very much aware of who the Erpenbecks were, a case which included attempts of coordinated murder and kidnapping of children, putting them into boxes, Lorie didn't seem scared.
They ran it all. And what happens when you follow Lorie's connection to a household name? The Becks? This was the notorious family recognized for a $34 million bank fraud scandal that devastated homeowners and left them broke. They were involved in forgery, threatening individuals, hiring hitmen, and closely associating with trafficking networks. But Lorie turned a blind eye to all of that mess. She acted like she didn't know while utilizing Rick and Donna Beck as notaries and incorporators for her endless LLCs. You see, Lorie was initially a model, but later in her career, she jumped into launching tech companies, Eurotech, Techmetrics, AZ Tech. But for some reason, nobody is able to determine what these companies actually do. However, there's always one constant connection between Lorie and all these ventures. She kept launching them. Money was somehow always disappearing. Wherever she operates, whatever she touches, controversy and financial problems seem to surface right alongside her. And scams and fraud just seem to follow Lorie Fran everywhere she operates.
Man, oh man, Loretta Abbess, or, Wallstad, Franz Fay. Quinta. Something ain't right. Too many LLCs, too many households, always lurking behind her daughter, shady divorce docs, curated content. Even the lawyer on those shady divorce docs, Rebecca Kay, may she rest in peace, but even she was involved with horse racing. Is everybody somehow maybe connected to gambling? I want to know. All I know is that with Mom, the vibes are not vibing for me, okay?
And it's happening all over again with TPUSA. Usually when someone is creating as many limited liability companies as Lorie, you have to raise the question. Why? Because in financial and legal communities, that type of behavior is a massive warning sign for laundering. Shell companies, layered transactions, hidden paper trails, it's a pattern investigators search for constantly. And now that she's circling TPUSA, the same patterns are beginning to surface again. But let's not overlook Tyler Bauer, the man who orchestrated this whole introduction. Bauer himself was caught up in fraud that was so serious it demanded a presidential pardon to erase it. 9 felonies and a presidential pardon. And this is the guy who served as the bridge between Lorie, Erika, and Charlie Kirk. Insiders have disclosed that just before Charlie got taken out,
and Tyler Boyer, probably the same. I know that he recently required a literal federal pardon from the President of the United States for fraud. He was credibly accused of 9 felonies related to trying to subvert the election, including fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. He's still facing state charges.
He discovered irregularities in TPUSA finances. A whopping $10 million had vanished overnight. Sources confirmed that the missing funds originated from Turning Point Action, the division of TPUSA that Erika's mom and alleged ex-boyfriend Tyler Bauer were leading. That's why Charlie wanted an internal audit of TPUSA's finances, because he suspected things weren't computing. Just like Lorie's numerous LLCs, Charlie allegedly suspected his company was being utilized as the perfect front for money laundering operations. Dirty money disguised as donations, finances arriving from shady unknown donors and flowing out to accounts just as suspicious. Sources claim Charlie smelled something wrong. That's why he allegedly had that argument with Erika that night, why he slept alone on the couch that night, why he didn't wear his wedding ring. But before Charlie could get to the bottom of things, he got eliminated. And now Candace is here, not whispering, not dancing around the questions we all had when Erika suddenly assumed control of TPUSA. She's pulling at threads that certain people clearly don't want touched. She's unraveling a network of relationships and financial irregularities, a network that connects Lorie Fran, Tyler Bauer, Erika, and
Lorie has LLCs coming out of her ears, okay? Lorie's got a lot going on. And I want to say something else. Her professional backstory in and of itself, it's odd. It's kind of like Erika odd, to be honest, right?
And the power structure inside Turning Point. But here's where the temperature shifts dramatically. Because instead of Erika directly confronting the allegations, instead of transparently responding to the financial questions being raised, what we're witnessing unfold publicly is something else entirely. A counterattack has just been launched from Erika's side. They're labeling Candace's series as spiritual warfare. Voices like Ben Shapiro and Dan Bongino have stepped in, portraying Erika as someone who didn't choose this, someone who got unwillingly thrust into chaos. So now Candace is being accused of stoking flames, of creating an environment where harm could come to Erika. It's the ultimate strategy, because once you paint the investigator as dangerous, you don't have to address the investigation. But people are demanding answers anyway, because what happened in 2015?
And then this last one here that I want to share, feeling really worried for Erika Kirk. It feels like real Candace O is trying to get her killed. It's this type of stuff, guys. I am very concerned about the tone and the rhetoric that's being used here. Not one, nobody, no person who has been critical of Erika Kirk or following what Candace has been covering is calling for any violence whatsoever. This, I believe, this is a rhetorical chess move, setting themselves up so that if anything does happen, not necessarily to Erika, but to anybody at Turning Point USA, for example, nobody wants that to happen. But they can then use this against Candace Owens and say, hey, look, everybody, look at her inciting violence with this investigation. And then they're going to use it to shut her down, deplatform her, the whole gig. I'm going to show you how Dan Bongino is doing this.
What went down in that 1 year when Erika disappeared off the grid? All of a sudden, minimal public trace. restricted contact. Now, the official story claims she went on a spiritual journey and allegedly only maintained communication with her mother, Tyler, and her pastor. But why was it nothing public? Was it personal? Nobody knows for certain, but when timelines have gaps like this, people fill them in. And right now, the public is filling in plenty. But let's zoom out for a second.
We're getting ready to go all in against the evil that is Candace Owens. It's not enough to combat the demonic attacks that she is doing against Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, and his children. I want to know who's funding it. I want to know if George Farmer is behind it. I want to know who's editing it. I want to know who her team is. I want to know who is responsible for continuing this evil. Because here's the thing. Candace Owens is going to get the wife and possibly even the children of Charlie Kirk hurt. And someone has to stop it. Someone has to fight against.
When the same names keep circling the same allegations, when fraud accusations, LLC webs, controversial associations, and financial irregularity claims all orbit the same tight-knit group, when introductions lead to influence and influence leads to executive power, at what point does coincidence stop being coincidence? At what point do patterns demand explanations? Is this a smear campaign? Is this an internal power battle exploding into public view? Or is Candace pulling on a thread that unravels something far bigger than anyone anticipated? Let us know what you think down in the comments.